paying for their kids.
If they're paying you child support and it's going into your household and you putting food on the table for your household and you got some other ninja coming up in there eating the food that you cook from that child support money that he done gave you, he got a problem with that, all right?
Nigga kick rocks. That's how I feel about that.
I'm just telling you.
But I get it. I understand. It's like that's his money. He don't want nobody.
That's what
in the
he
lamb
thinks.
chops, man.
Nah.
Because they think $250. I'm not just saying. I'm just throwing a number out there. It's buying a meal for you, your 3 kids, and your next ninja, nigga.
He's so whisper. She done had that motherfucker up in there with my kids. I done gave this bitch $300. This motherfucker eating steak and shit. Where's my wagyu, bitch?
You know what? I'm done. I am so done.
Seriously. What's the one phrase that they will always say in that situation?
There's a couple. You ain't never gonna get nobody.
You ain't never gonna get nobody like me.
You ain't never
that
gonna
is
get
the
nobody
top one.
And if you have kids, ain't nobody gonna want you with all them kids.
That's
girl.
the next one. That's the next one. You know my answer to that? I don't want nobody like you. That's why I'm giving it to your ass anyway, nigga. No. Again.
Yes. On the grind.
What's the
we are
topic
on the grind
today?
Welcome to another episode of Not Your Average Auntie's podcast.
Yes.
We're going to give it to you straight. We're going to drop it like it's hot. When our knees don't hurt. In a minute, I'm going to make up a rap song.
Yeah. Do it. Let's go. We be your hype woman. Let's go. Hey.
Today's topic, we're talking about how we break up with our exes, but for some reason, we got a special sauce and they just don't want to leave us alone, baby. We just got a grip on them.
Okay. All right.
I don't know what's gripping, but something gripping again.
So you saying that, you know, when you done, you tired, dude's like, nah, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
you stuck with me. Yeah, I heard that before. What's the one phrase that they will always say in that situation?
There's a couple. You ain't never gonna get nobody.
You ain't never gonna get nobody like me.
You ain't never.
That is the top one.
And if you have kids, ain't nobody gonna want you with all them kids.
That's the next one. You know my answer to that? I don't want nobody like you. That's why I'm giving it to your ass anyway, nigga. No.
in true Aryan form. As your queen.
That's the truth. That's how you think I'm getting rid of you for? Shit.
In true Aryan form, as your queen. I'm not cocky, but I know what I'm capable of. So I've had some crazies in the past.
I'm child.
Because my sauce is just that.
Ooh, she said she ain't cocky. That bitch is cocky and capable. She got the, how they say, CCs? You know, make it right, my CCs. That shit's CC to a new level. I'm cocky and capable, bitch.
Okay.
And I've been a strong believer in the term next.
Ooh.
Once I am tired, there is no
What's
coming
the Ariana
back.
Grande song? Next.
Just as fast as I was in love with you,
yeah.
When you bring me to that point, I will not be in love with you anymore.
Yeah.
And I will 9 times out of 10 act like you never existed.
Yeah.
But it takes time to, sometimes for some women, it can take us time to get to that point. And I think that's what sometimes the men don't realize is like, we give chances.
Mm-hmm.
Probably more than we probably should.
More than you should.
Mm-hmm.
And then
there's some women that they
it's just done.
Yeah.
But it also depends on how much
you've invested in it.
Yeah.
And I'm not talking about like like one night stands or stuff like that. 'Cause that's different.
Yeah.
Because that's usually just purely sexual.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm talking about like if you have a relationship with
you're
someone,
emotionally tied to this person, financially tied to this person. Sometimes that means spiritually. People that have been in spiritual relationships also depart and break up and stuff like that. But I think it comes down to ego. Like
for the man.
Mm-hmm. It comes down to ego, thinking that they're the best thing since sliced bread.
Yeah.
And that, you can't find anyone better than them. So, and that's just a big old myth because listen, the point when you get to the breaking point, you realize that this is not what you want. You've come to a realization. Yeah, you woke up and you're like, this ain't it for me, and I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of going through this shit, and you start to value yourself.
Yeah.
So that's when you figure out, like, so when they come with you with that shit, like, you ain't gonna find nothing better. And it worked. Let me tell you, it's worked on some people.
Yeah.
It's a manipulative tactic. So it's worked on some women where they felt like, I can't get better than this. Who else out there gonna want me? Especially when kids are involved and they hit you with that. Ain't nobody gonna want you because you got all these kids or whatever.
All for a moment in time, I will admit to feeling that way.
All untruths. I don't think I ever felt like that I couldn't get better. I don't think I ever felt like I couldn't get somebody because I have.
I was more worried
children.
about being alone because at one point in time, men were just not trying to. They were not, I guess, looking to start a relationship with a woman who had kids.
Yeah. Which is a double damn standard because.
Yes. But then you also had to be mindful of who you brought around your kids as well. So.
Oh, 100,
Yes.
1,000%. Like I think I shared that on a previous episode. I was not a fan of bringing people around my children when they were young. So, but yeah, I think it comes down to ego. It comes down to there's some jealousy, there's some resentment in that. Like, how dare you move on?
Yeah.
How dare you leave me? Type of thing. Ties all to ego related stuff. But I think when there's kids involved too, they also don't want somebody else connecting or developing a relationship with their children.
Yeah.
Especially men who are very involved in their children's lives. So I think there's a piece of that to it, but yeah, they don't want to lose anything. They're very territorial.
Because once they've had you, it's like no one else should be able to type thing.
Yes.
Well, I think also too, some men want to
have your cake.
have your cake and eat it too.
Oh,
some
yes.
women do too.
So, yes.
But some women, men want to have their cake and eat it too. So they kind of know you're a good woman, and they're like, but I want to sow my oats. I got to get out there and get wild with it. And then I'll come back to her, and it's unfortunate, but there are some women that allow that. He does what he wants to do, may or may not even have some kids on the outside, but he always goes back to her because perhaps she feels like home to him. There's nothing like having
it's
a
familiar.
person for home. It's familiar.
And same with the person who accepts that is familiarity. I don't want to go out there and figure out and learn something new. Yeah.
But then
it's crazy.
You never really.
It's a messed up dynamic.
I also think that
it's a fucked up
dynamic. But also for the women that actually put up with that nonsense, I feel like I always go back to this, but they don't love themselves enough. If you love yourself and value yourself enough, you ain't gonna put up with that shit.
Exactly.
You're gonna be like, okay, go sow yours, nigga. I'm gonna do mine too.
Maybe. So if you think about that piece of it, if it's she's okay with him doing his thing and she's doing her thing, that's probably how they have that shit set up. They have these agreements, or what do you call these
open relationship type shit.
But it's like, it's an understood thing. Like, I am not, it's like, what do you call it? A contract, for a better lack of a word. But like, we're going to be married because of economic reasons, right?
Okay.
We're both doing well. We're living a good life. Our salaries combined, or our lifestyles combined allows us to do all these things.
Okay.
So I'm going to go do what I'm going to do, and you're going to do what you're going to do. And they're okay with that craziness. To me, sorry, I may sound like I'm judgy. It's crazy to me. That's just how it's crazy to me.
That's fair. That's your opinion. Let's acknowledge that there are folks that they good with that. We're just not good.
Y'all can have that.
But no, they can have it. In fact, I would love to hear.
That's
from
why
folks
you stay
that are
single.
Like that.
That's why you stay single.
No, but if it's understood between those two people, that's the conclusion that they come to of what they want their relationship to be, because they're not willing to give up that financial freedom that they have with that. It works for them. They're okay with that. It's like, I'm doing what I'm doing. He's doing what he's doing. We have good goddamn jobs. We have whatever.
It might work for them.
It works for them.
And again, I will always lean on do what works for you.
Yeah.
But in that statement, are we talking open relationship where they have their little...
It basically is.
Okay.
It's technically an open relationship, but they're not thinking about the other people that's being affected. That's just play. Yeah. Because at the end of the day,
they're
coming back home
to that woman.
Yeah.
So I could go out and play, and she could go out and do whatever. But at the end of the day, he knows, I don't care what you're doing, you mine. And there are legit relationships.
Like the younger generation is doing that. Yes.
Don't say younger. Don't do that. not. No.
Yes.
There's some you think it's just the younger. It's some people within our generation that they feel I'm gonna do me, you gonna do, but we for whatever reason they feel they claim we're equally yoked, so they use that as a disclaimer. But
the men feel like that more. Like
you can't say that. The women, how you gonna? Are you in that relationship, girl? Shit.
You got the man. Let's use this example. You have a man that wants 2 women, different reasons.
Okay.
So you have the main one, and then I don't know which the other one would be considered the side chick. But everybody is in agreement with what's happening with them.
That's sister wives shit. That's some other shit. They
no,
know
sister wives is 5 and more. Because don't that man have one for every day of the week?
No, sister wife is 2 women who know that they're
or more.
There's this actor, I forget his name, but his ex-wife lives with him and his current wife. Now I don't know if they have a relationship. An intimate relationship, him and his ex-wife, but she lives with him and his current wife.
That's
right
crazy.
now.
To me, again, no offense.
Yeah, that is crazy.
I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I'm not built like that.
No, I mean either.
But there are women that is, and it is
because in the back of my mind, I'm like, he's smashing that. I'm sorry, I don't care if I'm not home and they home together. There's something going down. They had something before.
That's not gonna work
nah, I can't do it.
That ain't gonna work for me. But there are women that's okay, and you can't just say that it's a man because there are women that are very much like, listen, I love him, but I want to go out and do my thing.
And there are some men that are in relationships that know that their woman is out there taking care of her business or whatever have you, and they're okay with that. It's at the end of the day, nothing is too far-fetched for anybody, right?
That's true.
Nothing.
So
not a damn thing.
We get stuck into these female-male
constructs.
That says that there's not a woman out there who's doing her thing while she got her man at home, and he very well knows about it, and he's okay with it.
Just because
I understand that part. So my theory is right now I'm single. I'm gonna stay classified as single. So if you're out there doing whatever, when you're with me, and you still have your friends, I'm gonna be doing the same thing.
Absolutely,
over here.
absolutely. But people don't always do that. Like you'll find sometimes, at least some people that I've known anyway, where they're dating somebody or they're in a situationship where they're acting like they're in a whole relationship, knowing damn well this person doesn't belong to you and you don't belong to that person, but you are giving that person some relationship benefits.
That's when. But you know what? It's interesting. Do you think it's more women that do that than men?
Yes.
Which they would say that we women tend to catch on emotions,
catching feelings,
more than men.
Yeah, and somebody said something about that. The reason why somebody said that happens because of how when you become intimate, it's because a man is entering you, and that kind of ties to your emotion versus like he doesn't look at it the same way because like you're entering my space, my body. The cavity of my body, whatever you want. I don't want to get all whatever. But
she said the cavity in my body.
Whatever. The vajayjay, whatever. Whatever. I'm just like, I'm trying not to. But anyways.
I understand.
But it does something. It makes you feel different when you connect with that person in an intimate way versus
once
a male.
you've connected, but
right. So you get emotionally attached quicker as a woman than a man would.
So do you believe it's possible that a woman don't get attached?
Oh, like
she has a man's mentality where she can.
Sure, absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
You scare me there.
There's nothing wrong with that.
I think there are less women that are in that, but that does exist.
Yeah.
And you don't have to because when we talk about it, sex is sex.
Yes.
Right? And it's made for us to reproduce, right? But at the end of the time, there's pleasure with it. So there are women that it's like, it's okay to just have sex, and it's gonna be good. Well, you hope, and you have no emotional ties. You literally be like, okay, I just had sex. It was great.
It's time to go.
Next, I'm done. And let me get back to working on this project I was working on.
Right, exactly.
Start with some energy, So, and then there's women that. To your point, that do it and it's like, oh my gosh, when he laid upon my chest. Oh my God, he is just.
He's the one.
She's in her creative mode right now.
That shit lit a fire. The fire was brewing. Like, oh my God!
Yeah.
And they can't stop thinking about him.
Yeah.
And they knew that he was dropping that thing off to everybody else. But they said he can't. They craft these things in their mind that he can't possibly what he did to me.
He ain't do that to nobody else.
Because I'm special,
right,
baby? You're not.
No,
I'm sorry to tell you,
absolutely
but
not.
You're not, and he done got on top of you and did that little
And
growl like Shannon Sharp.
I think that's a mistake also because you talked about the emotional stuff. So cheating, like when people cheat, there's different, like sexual, sex is sex, like you said, sex is sex and it's meant to do whatever. But the emotional cheating, to me, is far more hurtful than the physical act. Like physical act, yeah, we're done.
Okay.
But
the emotional.
So when you're having intimate conversations and nothing physical has to have happened between you and this other person. When you're sharing emotional things that you should be sharing with me, you're cheating. That's a problem.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's.
But guys don't see it that way, and that's what ticks me off about that.
Don't generalize. Some guys.
Some guys.
Not
because,
all guys.
Yeah.
You think? So let me ask you. You think all guys? When you because
in some form they
all guys don't see it that way. Be honest. I'm asking.
Is that how you feel? That's how you feel.
Yeah. I really believe all of them feel that way.
I don't believe that.
Some may be more understanding about it. But they all have some form of believing that.
I disagree, but okay.
Yeah.
Then that's. I mean, we're having this. It's okay to not have the same beliefs, but I think that there are some men that, to your point, think the way you have them thinking, but I think there's some men that understand that it's like, listen, I shouldn't be having these conversations. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, and then I think the other thing goes to when men think that. Or when a partner thinks that you cannot move on from them or you cannot be with anybody, that's because that's also what they've seen in their life. Like they've seen their mother sticking with a relationship, whether it was good or bad, and in their mindset, it's like you're supposed to do the same thing. And I can say that because I was actually told that. Like when I moved on, it was like, well, and at that time, I'm like, I'm a young 30-something years old. You think I'm going to sit here and not. And feel like I have to be by myself for the rest of my life.
Some people say tenderoni's the younger, but I'm tenderoni to the second pound.
Whatever.
It doesn't
matter. I was not in a space where like I'm ready to be like it's done and over. I'm not, so.
I look at it in this way, and you have a couple that's been together. If the man cheats in any form. But the emotional piece where he's just texting, he don't see nothing wrong with that at all. Whereas it's making his woman upset, but he don't see why would she be upset. A lot of the time they arguing about that because he's like, I didn't do anything, I didn't fuck her. Now turn that around and let the woman do that to him. The world has ended.
Of course.
So that goes back to
that's why I said all men in some way feel that way.
In some ways feel that way, but it's also think about how
some will either forgive her and move on. Then you got others just like, oh, disloyal, this, that, and the third, and immediately they're done, and there would never be no reconciliation of that.
I think it also it goes back to their previous experiences, right? Maybe they felt they were burned in the past by a woman that did that, and it actually materialized as something more. So to me, a person, independent if it's a man or a woman, they will react a certain way based on their own previous experiences or leveraging experiences of a friend that they heard, even if they weren't in a situation like. Their friend did that. She went through it. Are you doing it too? So I just think that you got. Listen, men. A couple of things. Men are very visual.
Yes.
I think more visual than women in many cases. So a lot of things excite them on that side. And I think that they, despite what we want to think, they can be very sensitive.
Oh, men are very sensitive.
But we tend to think that they're, and I'm not sensitive, but they get sensitive when it's, they don't want, no man wants to see their woman, the act of having sex with another, just the visual fucks them up. Yeah, because they know what they did. What they did to you, and they
because that's their ego,
You make that, they don't want to, another motherfucker do it. I'm just keeping it a buck. They don't want to hear that.
True. They don't want
that will mess them up every time, especially for a woman that they love.
Yes,
or they care
that they care
for.
about. And
You know, if it's not,
it's like 10 times when y'all
whatever.
got kids together.
They'll
like
sit
10
there and say
times.
it's not bothering them just to get you to open
That's
up.
not true. They can
It's
say all they
not
want to
true.
say because their emotions, their body language, everything
Yep.
says absolutely different.
Yeah.
How they access everything differently
Yeah.
from that. So they can say they don't care all they want. It's a lie.
Yeah, I know. The devil's a lie.
Let me ask you a question. Why do you think some like ex-partners feel entitled to your life even after the relationship ends? Why do you think that is?
If they're still
They're trying to
contributing
keep
some
that
kind
dope.
of way, if
Yeah.
they're still contributing some kind of way, forms of child support or whatever have you,
If you got that connection.
if you got that connection,
Child support ain't got nothing to do with you, nigga, please.
but
But they gotta pay.
let me
So
tell you,
what
if
they got to
if-
pay, that don't mean you have
if
access to
they
me.
are
That's paying for their kids.
If they're paying
True,
you
I
child support and it's going into your household and you putting food on the table for your household and you got some other ninja coming up in there eating the food that you cook from that child support money that he done gave you, he got a problem with that, all right?
Nigga kick rocks. That's how
I'm
I
just
feel about
telling
that
you.
one.
But I get it. I understand. It's like that's his money. He don't want nobody.
That's what
eating
he
the lamb
thinks.
chops, man.
Nah.
Because they think $250. And I'm not just saying, I'm just throwing a number out there. It's buying a meal for you, your 3 kids, and your next ninja, nigga.
He talking with his friend. She ain't had that motherfucker up in there with my kids. I done gave this bitch $300. This motherfucker eating steak and shit. Where's my wagyu, bitch?
You know what? I'm done. I am so done.
Seriously,
No, I know, but not for
You ain't
nothing.
dictating nothing over here.
Okay.
but they think they still have that kind of control.
And I know they feel
And if
that
you got
way.
kids, if kids is in the mix, they think they can still tell you what to do because y'all got kids.
No, they don't have the right to
They-
tell you
they-
what to
they-
do.
we
But
talking
that's
about
how
what
they
they
feel.
think.
Yes. That's how they feel. They can feel like that all they want to. Nigga, kick rocks.
I'm just saying.
You ain't dicking nothing down over here, so you ain't got nothing to say about what goes
But
on
he
up
mad
in this
because
house.
somebody else is.
But he chose to leave, right?
Maybe
Ex-
it could have been a different situation. Maybe it could be different variables as to why y'all not
Bottom
together
line
no
is
more.
we ain't living in the same house and we not together no more. And
In
you're
this-
not getting none of this sauce anymore.
in the
so
discussion.
Get over it.
She said what she
So-
said.
So kids definitely complicate the process. of
Absolutely,
moving on.
absolutely.
And even
Especially when
setting
they're very,
boundaries.
very involved, right?
Yeah.
And if you have that open door policy, like for me, I try to keep things at least a little bit more amicable and where it wasn't too much of a shift or a change
Yeah.
in terms of the interaction with the kids. So like, come over whenever you want, whatever, your kids is here, blah, 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 blah. Put them to bed, eat dinner with them, whatever you want, blah, blah, blah. If that's a window that's there, best believe it may be taken advantage of, and it makes them feel like, oh, we not really, because it's a mixed message on your part, not intentionally, I think.
Sometimes it may be intentional because
Oh,
I
it
can
could
see if they
See if we
came
can
to
figure
an
this stuff
agreement
out,
about
yeah.
it. She's still trying to not make it seem like she wants him back.
Yeah.
But by agreeing to that type of arrangement, that leaves the door open on both
A
ends.
possibility,
She
yeah.
may be secretly feeling that, if
Maybe.
we have this friendship back.
Especially if they still dibble dabbling a little bit, something.
Exactly.
Well, that can happen because it's a familiar thing.
Uh-huh.
And if she didn't move on fully, it could be, he says, well,
They both get it. They both got an itch that got to get
Yes.
scratched.
Get right. The kids done went to bed.
She's gonna make him think like she's doing something, but she really isn't because she's hoping that they can work this out.
But the fact of the matter is, I've never been in a situation where I could just envision, like, when if dude's coming over to put the baby down and hope to put the sleep, you gonna be looking to fly
Sashaying her
ass.
ass.
Lotion up nice. Are you
Yeah.
Smelling real good.
Put her in bed before I go and jump in the shower.
Uh-huh.
Bitch, you gonna be smelling good. You gonna be all lotioned
Cause
up nice.
because you like, he gonna miss
He gonna
this.
exactly, and that's you secretly sometimes.
Yeah.
You kind of still want sometimes, or it could be you're so angry at what happened, especially if he cheated or something like that. That you're like, I'm gonna show you what
Yeah.
you done messed up
Yeah.
on,
I'm
yo.
gonna show you. Now, if you want to get funky with it, you can be like, you put it down.
I'm
All
going
right,
out.
all right, you gotta go.
Cause my nigga coming over.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's why I
gonna
said
have
you
to-
making
gonna
it
have to-
think
how
that
long
way.
you gonna sit around and talk about these kids and they home and done now? Get it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of things.
I have another question. question.
Yeah.
What are some of the emotional and psychological effects when an ex believes that they're the only one you should be with? Because I think it does mess with women's psychological. Or we're talking from a women's perspective, and I'm sure it's some psychological effects from a men's perspective too. Again, we can only share ours. So, what do you think are some of those emotional effects when they believe you're the only one? And we talked a little bit about it, but that you can't move on without me. How does it affect you guys emotionally? Or not you per se, but just you think.
I mean, you can almost believe. Some women start to believe what they was told. Some women will feel like what he said may be true.
Yeah.
Maybe I can't find anyone better than him, or nobody gonna want me because I have all these kids.
Yeah.
You can feel that way, especially if you're in a space where. There was a time where I think after I had my third child, I felt very unattractive, even for my partner. Like, I didn't feel attractive at all. So you don't feel attractive. You don't think that you got what it takes to go out there. And you're fearful. You're fearful probably to even go through this again. Like, now I got to figure somebody else out. Somebody got to figure me out. Like, do you really want to even go down that path when you know what's over here? So I'm just going to ride this out. Yeah. Like, it's a whole bunch of things.
That unattractive piece definitely comes into play, especially
if you have him telling you that too. Yeah.
So that's hard.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because I feel like you got to fucking get the fuck out, motherfucker. You say that shit to me,
right?
Fuck if I look butt ass, my hair on top of my head.
You're supposed to tell me all the time I look beautiful.
I'm talking shit because I want you to share what you guys do, but sometimes you know when you look unattractive, you be like, baby, that ain't working.
Yeah, but that's okay because he's coming from a place of love. But you don't want nobody to tell you.
If you knew that he was stepping out and then
he telling you that shit,
that doesn't make you feel good as when first of all, and then your hormones after having a baby is all over the place. So you are not. Any little thing can tip you over. Yeah,
you already feel that way yourself. You don't need them to tell you that.
You don't need them to tell you that shit, and that sucks though. But now even I'm talking about having post baby. But even if you don't have the baby and that happens, that's a problem.
I realize now that was a form of controlling the situation.
Of course,
keeping me at bay, but thinking that you're able to do what you want. And when everything was that exposed,
post baby or this is past the baby?
Right past.
Because sometimes they don't want you to they don't want you to feel good about yourself too.
No, because they're trying to keep it. To get you to still try to do whatever to keep him, but at the same time he's over here.
Okay, devil's advocate. You know.
Always.
My brain. So what if a man, and it's still very hurtful if they say it's still very hurtful.
It is.
If they say you're unattractive, but deep down they kind of feel like, damn, my shit ain't getting aroused. You know, maybe we put on a little weight, and maybe in their eyes, like, I'm really not attracted to you. Like, I need you to do something. What if that was a real feeling? It still hurts. It still hurts, but you know that could be a real.
It would have been that if this was a year or two after having the baby, and you didn't do nothing. And I know still the first 6 months after the baby, you're still
if you're purposely sitting around not doing anything,
and you're purposely not doing it.
You're not trying to be attractive. You're not trying to
make your bounce back ain't
making yourself feel good. Because at the end of the day, what's going to make him attractive to you is when you feel good about yourself. When you feel good about yourself and you exuding that, he's going to be attracted to you with them extra 10, 15 pounds of knots.
That shit radiates when you feel good.
So this is right after you've had the baby.
That's a lot. Yeah. So that, to me, that's even worse because it's like...
And it's not one, but this is the second child.
Yeah.
I had a nice snapback the first time. Second time, this is like weeks in.
Yeah.
And this is when everything was exposed on what he was doing.
Yeah. That's a tough one because it's like, you knew what I just did. I just had your baby, and you what you think.
And I just gave you a son. Yeah.
But
that's how you acted.
Yeah. But I think if it goes to the scenario where you're saying year two and you're not even doing anything to make yourself feel good, she may not be feeling good, and she don't even know how to get to that space, right?
Yeah.
So I think, yes, while hurtful, if you're a good partner, you're gonna see that in your partner, and you're gonna say to your partner, "Listen, it's gonna be hurtful. It's not gonna come out. I don't care how I try and say it to you. It's not gonna make you feel good or feel better. But I know this is not you. What's going on? How can we get you back to you where you can feel good again? Because it's affected both of us." In different ways.
You know what? A good partner, when they see that, they may even come up to you and be like, "You know what, baby? they see what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, you still look beautiful too.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, you look beautiful.
Yeah.
Whisper in your ear while you're getting it on or something. Guarantee you hear that in your ear, bitch, you're gonna be starting to put on your shit. You're gonna change. Even if you was feeling down,
Absolutely.
it's gonna ignite something in you
It's
that you're
a
gonna
way
be like,
in doing that. Yes.
But a man needs to see, to your point, see something's off with my woman.
Yeah.
She's not, and I love her so much. I'm gonna tap into. I'm gonna try to reach her so I can bring that back. And when they say, "Baby, you look fantastic. You look sexy. You look this," when you know you feel off, that still will, if it's said in the right manner, in the right setting, it's gonna ignite something in you that's gonna be like, well, let me go. And you're going to look at like things a little bit differently. Okay. But it's still very hurtful. I understand what you're talking about, because that is still, that's crazy. Yeah. I mean, I'll just leave that there. How do you manage co-parenting when your ex is trying to control your personal life? Or have you experienced that, when they try to control your personal life and you still got a co-parent?
You mean in what way control your personal life?
Like wanting to know
where you're at, what you're doing.
If you drop the kids off to
going.
their mama, or I'm just giving an example. If you drop your kids off to your mother, or they know you don't have the kids for the weekend, and now they call the house, I want to speak to Johnny, and Johnny, Johnny's with mom. Why? What you doing? Da 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 da. And how do you manage that? How do you deal with that?
The same reaction I gave earlier is the same reaction I'm giving now.
I ain't worried about your life. What
exactly. You didn't want me anymore, so why are you worrying about what's going on over here? Nigga, mind your business. I was very vocal back then, and I'm still vocal now, just a little bit more reserved.
So what's a healthy way of actually establishing those types of boundaries? And I say healthy, so we're not being like
rah and violent.
Yeah, so that especially when they're looking to like.
If you have two mature, understanding people realizing that it's not working out anymore and we're going our separate ways, it should not be no issue. Now, if you have one who's being difficult, it's multiple ways. You can try to have the conversation. If the conversation is not working, you may have to go a legal route or whatever have you. Whatever you need to do is what you need to do. It's like, who knows? Like, it depends on, like, I only can speak about my personal experiences and my scenarios of trying to co-parent and somebody trying to tell me what I was and what not doing and who I'm doing it with. It was like, I was like, think what you want to think. You're going to do it anyways. I can't control what's going on in your brain. You're going to do it anyways. So think what you want to think.
In my situation, when everything was happening, because I loved him, I tried to make sure that I always stayed looking a certain way. Just for him to come back. I gave it a year, and when we finally had a conversation, because I wanted to know where were we going, and he said that he just wasn't in love with me anymore. That's all I needed to hear. So after that moment, you have no right to dictate to me about who I'm seeing, what I'm doing. But if the kids are with my mother or with my, you have no say in that. But and I was always about that.
But so even when they say they don't want to be bothered with you no more, people don't just fall out of love overnight.
It takes
time. Even if we decide to walk away, or they leave, or they're cheating and having somebody on the outside, and they decide they don't want to be with you no more because they think they want to be with this person on the outside, they ain't just stop loving you.
And I get that. I understand that part.
That's the thing I think that drives. That's the driver behind trying to control what's going on in your life after they done gone and moved on. They still trying to figure out what you're doing, why you're doing, because they still have not fully detached themselves from that relationship. They haven't,
but after a year, I have.
I'm not saying you haven't. I'm just saying that's probably one of the drivers of why they feel they need to still be so involved and still want to know and have say so in what's going on in your life, because they're still very much connected, whether they say so or believe so or not. They are, and
which I get, but you're not going to sit here and tell me what I can and cannot do, especially after you've just.
They don't have the right to, but that don't mean they won't try.
They could try all they want to. I'm just look, nigga, mind your business. You doing you, so I don't have a problem with do me.
Right. As you should. You should be able to. So there's that. So
do you think that friends or family especially if you had a relationship with an ex,
Mm-hmm.
do you think that and now they're no longer in the picture?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you think that friends and family should engage with that ex?
Don't talk about me in doing so. I don't care.
And still like, so think about it. And again, I'm playing devil's advocate. I'm just throwing shit out there. Do you think that if you have you're with the ex, right?
Okay.
Y'all go to the family socials and parties and shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's no longer part of it.
Mm-hmm.
And let's say, I'm gonna throw two scenarios out there. First scenario, maybe you dated for 2-3 years, no kids.
Mm-hmm.
It just didn't work out, but he was a good, fun dude. He got to know the family and everything. Mm-hmm. Now it's done. Is it okay for your family to still engage with the same level of familiarity that they have with him? Mm-mm. Is this, so you're saying
there's some I'm not saying they shouldn't engage at all, but there's
with
some boundaries.
Level.
No,
Yeah, okay.
There gotta be some boundaries. Like, he ain't coming over to Thanksgiving dinner no more. He ain't coming to no holiday dinners, no family parties. If y'all want to go meet at the bar somewhere, by all means do so.
Yes.
But you're not coming to my family gatherings. No.
Because 9 times out of 10 it was my brothers who got, I guess, because of the relationship, they would still keep connected. As long as I didn't see it, if they remained friends, it was fine. And I know.
And don't talk about me.
And don't talk about me. Yeah.
I've never been in that situation, but me personally, I have never been in that situation.
Listen,
but,
I'm of the mindset that I can't tell you who you can and cannot be with, or who you can and cannot be friends with. But I feel like there are some boundaries and there's some level of respect that needs to be considered. Like, if I'm your sister or I'm your daughter, whatever, if you want to have some sort of interaction with that person, don't talk about me. They should not be invited to family things, right? But if it's a card or a text happy birthday or whatever have you, but I don't care about none of that stuff. But don't talk about me, and then don't be talking about, if I happen to meet somebody later on down the road, don't talk about that person to my partner, because that person is not here anymore. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that.
It's funny, and it all depends on the situation. Case in point, should I divulge? Her husband and my kid's father are brothers. Because we are so close and intertwined with each other, a lot of his childhood friends and people that he was raised by, grew up with, I'm still close with them. I kept the relationship because we shared kids.
Y'all got kids.
That's the
and
thing.
the fact that we have kids, that changes the dynamics.
Because y'all kids and their kids
because
is
his family
and all that stuff,
invites me to the South all the time. We've done vacations together. So I've still, and he, from my understanding, it's not just
no. I'm saying the connection is the fact that I think it would be different. Kids. If you didn't have kids, it probably wouldn't be the same. Because there'd be no connection. Yeah. There's no reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All right.
So that's there'd be no reason to do it. But the kids that's my niece and nephew.
But even still with the kids, for me, kids' birthdays, absolutely no problem. But if we're at my family's house, for something outside of the kids' birthdays, Thanksgiving, no. Right? You don't need to be at my family's house just because we have kids together for anything. Now, if Christmas is, you can come and stop by, drop the kids off a gift, or to come pick the kids up, but you're not coming to sit at the dinner table with us.
Gotcha.
No.
That's interesting.
But it's funny, I do have an ex that I'm still close with the family. Like, the father calls me all the time.
I don't mind that.
His aunts always, I speak with them on Facebook and all that all the time. Even after
he
doesn't like that. He doesn't like the fact that I kept the relationship, but they constantly reached out to me.
I'm a little weird. I know this is where we differ. I'm gonna cut it off, even if their family reaches out to me, and I got no kids or no ties
there's
to
no
him.
Kids.
I'm gonna make it so that it's gonna get to the point where the family's not going to reach out to me again, and it's gonna be in a very diplomatic way, but they're gonna get the point. We don't need to be engaged in this.
Okay.
Because I just shut the chapter. It's like it's over, it's done, kaboot, done. Goodbye.
Yeah.
And if I see you in passing, that's one, hey, how you doing? Okay. But just to call me up and see how I'm doing, I don't know, I'm weird. I like to shut the door. Like, that chapter is done and we're good. That's just
it just
me.
all depends on the relationship I have with
I
them.
understand. I understand. Sometimes I can have that evil bitch tendency. And I get it.
Because I don't have a problem being cordial. Like, I've only went to 2 functions. where I traveled to them afterwards
Nah.
because they assured me he wasn't going to be there.
I wouldn't even go. Thank you for the invite.
Okay.
Have a lovely
But then
life.
after that,
Have a
I've
lovely
kept
life.
a distance.
But see,
yeah.
I didn't really talk about how I would. I was talking about how if my family wanted to continue to have a relationship with that person, whatever, there has to be some boundaries. Like, I'm not going to tell you who you can and cannot be friends with, because for God knows they probably were best friends, or they probably were friends before me and him got together, because that happens. Like, right, so.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah, in that situation, but if they became friends during the time and they continued the friendship.
I'm not gonna tell my friends you can't be friends with him over here because him and I are together.
No,
I'm not telling my
that.
friends that. What I'm gonna tell them is that if you're having an event or something and you want to invite this person,
then I'm not
by
coming.
all means, but just give me the courtesy to let me know so I can make a decision if I want to attend or not.
Yes.
And let me just be clear too. Like, I don't mind, even as a person with a friend that let's say I don't want to use my sons as an example because I'll be telling a lie. So I ain't gonna do that. But so let's say if I had a cousin or a sibling where their ex reached and they have history, no kids, but they have history. Yeah, I can still engage because they were cool peeps. You know what I'm saying? I'll acknowledge that as an individual, independent of who they dated.
Okay.
You know, that I think that's okay. But again, I'm not gonna sit and have a conversation about
it's like don't talk exactly.
My brother or sister
exactly.
Yeah.
cousin.
We're connecting and catching up because
you wanna
catch
talk
up
about
with me.
whatever,
Right.
And I'm
Yes.
or I'm supporting you with
Absolutely.
the same business thing or whatever the case may be.
Absolutely.
I'm all for that.
Yes.
But so that's just want to separate what I said before about cutting it off. But apart from that, I also I do like to set up boundaries because I don't want anybody
I think
to
it's
feel too familiar
important
with me to think that when any one of your exes right now, and I met some of them.
Yes.
But if I see in the street, it's basically
High and by.
Like, I'm not even gonna. It's nothing more.
Especially if we don't have no real. I only
got
know
no
them
connection.
through you.
Yeah, I only know them through you. Like, what am I? We're not gonna
What
sit
are
around
you talking
and
about?
fucking,
But if
like, chop it up. That's not what we're doing.
But if it's a scenario where you said maybe we traveled together, we done this together, we done that together, whatever have you. I'm not gonna tell you still can't be friends with that person. Just don't talk about me when you're around. They don't need no update on me. I don't need no update on them. Don't come back and tell me I caught up with someone. I don't care.
So I'm gonna tell you how I feel real quick. And granted, it's a dead issue, but I'm just gonna say it anyway. Not my husband, but if I was out there dating, personally, whoever I dated as an ex or my family, you need to know you can't be friends. Fuck that. Ain't no reason for you to talk to him. That's just my feeling. Now, and it's funny. I know I just flip flop because I said I would be engaging.
Yeah.
And I'm talking from a woman or man, but for me personally, it's like, what do you gain?
If you don't know how to do it, respectfully of each individual, I don't think, because some people don't know how to do that. They don't know how to still remain friends and remain neutral to the two individuals. People want to go and catch up and gossip and all that bullshit. That would be a problem for me. I don't need you. If you, as my girlfriend or my guy friend, you still happen to have friendship with my ex, y'all talk about what y'all got going on. Don't talk about what I got going on, and don't bring back to me what he got going on.
Don't care.
So that's what I'm talking about. Because I can't tell you who to be friends with. I'm not going to control you in that way, and I'm not going to necessarily not be your friend unless you do something about that whole scenario that make me be like, oh, we can't be friends anymore because you don't know how to be neutral and separate.
Yeah, and friends or family, I'll cut you off.
Yeah, same thing. Friends or family. Friends or family.
I don't want it. That's just me.
Because you see a lot of these movies and TV shows where the mama's still friend with the ex, and then the holiday comes around and you bring in your newbie, you bring in your new person, and they done invited the ex, and you sitting there thrown off guard because your parent ain't get over the fact that y'all are not together. So because people do that. People don't know how to take people breaking up.
Well, that's another thing.
So, like, your friends be like, oh, y'all were so great together. Parents like, y'all were so great together. But friends do too. Y'all were so great together. Can't y'all figure out how to make it work?
You gotta let it go.
Listen, if we can't figure it out, don't try to figure it out for us.
See, our dynamics here is a little different. So, because I knew their husbands before they came into the picture.
Yeah.
So
and you can stay friends.
But the difference is, her husband was a brother, and he still is a brother to me. Now,
it's different. I'm just saying but
God forbid, Richard, and I know you wouldn't, because I would kick your ass anyway. If he was acting out, I would be getting on his case about it. Versus
trying to keep them together when they clearly said they don't want to be together no more. That's the kind of friend that don't know how to.
So I guess for me, I make that statement because I was merely talking about. I was using family as an example, but I think also too it floats into friends. If I was out there and let's say under the different circumstances where we were just friends without, let's pretend I just feel like if I'm done with him,
okay.
And maybe I've been burnt in the past by this, so we gonna be transparent a little.
Because I got a question coming.
So maybe I've been burnt in the past by this, but I feel like if I'm done, then what are you talking? There's no need to do the catch up.
So you saying if me and you are friends and I'm friends with you and your ex.
You
and your ex,
we are friends.
We're friends.
And then I have a dude that I was dating for 3 years. And
but he ain't my friend. You're my friend.
Yeah.
That's
different.
Exactly.
That's different.
So then if you see him, now we might have vacationed in the Poconos or wherever, whatever. We had a good old time couples. Now we done. And now you see him and now you're like, oh, I'm having a gather. You throwing something for, whatever. I'm having a gather. Won't you come? What the fuck you inviting him for? No, it's ulterior motives. You probably wanted to fuck him. Where my brain was.
That's different.
So you're talking.
That's different.
Like, no, I'm not going to ask because that speaks the situation.
Let me flip the scenario a little bit. We all met each other around the same time.
Yes.
Okay.
Y'all not dating. We just all friends.
Okay.
Y'all wind up dating.
Okay.
We're still all friends. Now y'all break up.
Okay.
You still have that same stance?
Yes. Him and I was intimate. Why you having a shindig? I'm done moved on. He's out of the mix. Why are you inviting him?
Because he was
my friend too.
Exactly.
Just like you were my friend.
Care. It's ulterior. You probably wanted to get it on.
I
don't give a fuck. I'm telling y'all right now.
True.
Thank God I'm married. Y'all bitches would get fucked up over me, goddamn it. Because I'm telling you right now, if I deaded the relationship.
So you telling me who I can have as friends?
Sorry. If I deaded the relationship, I'm still gonna fuck with you as a friend, but now I gotta put you in a box because I'm just being real.
I completely. But I would be the type of
crazy. Listen, you know,
in that type of scenario, just like I said, in that type of scenario, out of respect for both parties, you're my friends. Nothing happened between me and him that made me stop being friends. I may be mad at y'all for breaking up because I'm going to be mad at both of y'all equally. If I really want y'all to be together and I'm not understanding why y'all broke up, I'm going to be mad at both of y'all equally. Like, what's wrong with y'all? Get y'all shit together. But if y'all both say y'all can't do it, y'all can't do it. But I'm still friends and I'm going to be a neutral party. I'm the type of friend. Don't call me and talk about my girl over here because...
I respect that.
We don't need to talk about her. What you got going on in your life? I'm gonna tell you what I got. Wait, I'm gonna tell you what I got going on in my life. Now, I'm having my 50th birthday party. This is, it's a big shebang. I'm bringing all my friends, inviting all my friends. Out of respect for both people, because they're my friends. I'm inviting so and so and so and so and so. I want to give you the heads up, but everybody don't do that.
You can't.
But see, that's
everybody don't do it. So if I didn't do that, but I can still respect you having some caution and some boundaries because I do still have a relationship with this person. So I can understand the dynamics of our relationship turning a little bit, but you should know. You would know me at that point because I'm telling you, I saw so and so. I'm not even gonna tell you I saw him first of all because we don't need to talk about them.
Okay.
So you don't need to know when we're seeing each other, but just know. And you will find out at some point because something's gonna happen where like, oh, she must have been talking to me about so and so and so and so and so.
In the 50th party, okay. So let's use that scenario, and you see, I am very immature sometimes.
She gonna tell me, bitch, I ain't coming.
No.
I'll send you a gift. I'll send you a card. I'll send you a bottle of wine. But if that ninja coming, I ain't there.
No. So if the breakup, it all depends. If the breakup was like really bad, then I'm still gonna come out of a friendship for you, but I'm gonna come, but I'm not lingering. I'm gonna come. Say my
See, I
hellos.
would still love you for that.
I'm coming, say my, and I'm doing my.
That's
my
very
thing,
mature. You
right?
said you was childish.
Because I felt I honestly
Because you
like,
could have came and read him for
no,
you.
I'm not reading
As-
anything. Once I'm done,
Done,
with
you're
him,
done.
The red
Don't
done
need.
happened already.
Yeah.
That's why we done.
Yeah.
I done did that. I don't need to.
Yeah.
I don't need to have. I don't even need to say a damn thing to him.
Right.
I could be with somebody that I've done cut off and not have a word. I'm a Sagittarius. We are very good at that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to have a word. We could be in the same space and I never speak a word.
Yeah.
Perfectly fine. But I'm gonna keep my shit short because I don't want to put myself in a position where something's being said and now your whole party's fucked up.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
now I got crazy.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm gonna say, hey girl, then that, and I'm out. But for family, to me, and I'm not speaking for any of y'all family members that are watching or will watch. I'm not speaking on any of y'all issues. I'm talking about for me, and if I dated someone, this is me personally, and I realize I'm being a little bit of a hypocrite because I have been in situations where friends and family have had exes, and I'm still friends with them, and it's cool. Be cool. I'm talking about for me. And again, perhaps because of maybe stuff
double
that has happened
standards.
in the past, it is a double standard. I will acknowledge it. I mean, you can't use it against me. It's a complete double standard. I acknowledge that. But I know the reason why I feel like this because things have happened in the past where my instincts and guts told me something else was there. So if you still want to engage with somebody I was with, and I'm not talking about flings, something different. I'm talking about in a relationship and you engaging. Nah, you something, you know. Now the scenario you presented where we us all meeting together at one time, that's something different because we all met together.
Okay.
But I'm introducing this brother to you, and now
there's nothing. Yeah, you my friend first. We friends first.
It's done because I'm gonna in my head. I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be thinking. Bitch, you was every time we went out on a vacation. Bitch, you was looking at my man.
Yeah,
you was trying to get
sizing them up.
You how I'm
wait.
going to
I'm sitting here plotting, waiting for the day.
You was waiting, bitch, and then I'm gonna be like, fuck you, bitch. Now I ain't your friend. And if you family, now you're not my family. You know, I'm just being honest.
But the reality is, some people are not mature enough to understand and put those boundaries in place where they're gonna still try and talk. Still keep everybody up to date on everybody, and we don't need to do that.
And I feel like when people do that, you don't have a life. Why do you got to talk about? Who cares? Talk about what's going on in the world or whatever. Why you got to talk about what Sarah did to this one? Don't bring up that.
Do you know she's dating now?
Don't.
They've been together for 3 months now. Like, why?
I don't do that.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying if I meet somebody, like I've been in situations like, hey, how you doing? But I know how to keep the bound. I know how to say something. The conversation's dead.
I don't want to be. Remember when you and Tom was doing in front of your new person? Like, why?
I'm not doing that. I'm absolutely not doing that. So for me, I just not. Nah.
I guess I haven't been in that situation because my circle is so small. I mean, I chose to distance myself at one point from your husband because I didn't like the things that he was doing and what I was hearing. So, and because we were developing a friendship at the same time, it kind of looked like I chose you over him, but at the end of the day,
subjective because that was what the saying was. But who really knows? That's the way one person felt, or maybe some other people felt too. Who knows? I don't know. I just don't think that was necessarily the case.
Okay,
that was, and I don't even know why you put yourself in a position to feel that way because listen, if you pick the side, you pick the side. What the fuck? Anyways,
I chose you, girl. I love you.
Love you too, darling. Love you too. But it also, so tying back to why sometimes the ex feel like they can't move on or you can't move on. It comes back to those very same things where they're still connected with the family. The friends are still connected. They keeping him up to date on shit. So they know too much that they can put shit in your face, and then now it's like, why are you doing so and so? Who's this ninja you seeing now? Who you bringing in front of my kids? All that kind of stuff.
All of it bubbles up. All of it bubbles up.
Yeah.
And I think too, going back to the family and friends, sometimes we insert ourselves into situations too much, and it just gets icky. You know, God forbid if something happens between, like, let's say if Rich and I split, I don't care how y'all cut, it's icky. It's icky.
Yeah.
It's too much history.
Yeah.
And
And that was the question I was going to come at you about.
I mean, what was the question you was going to ask? If we split up, like, would it be the same?
Do we have to choose, or you going to make me choose?
I'm not going to make you. I'm not going to
make you do anything. But she gonna
make it. No.
But what will ultimately happen is that I'm probably not going to come around with my other person.
Okay.
Y'all probably will never meet that because it's too much history. It's going to be awkward.
Okay.
You know, and he's going to feel. It's just too much. I mean. It's gonna be awkward, so you'll never meet the next person, and we could still hang out, but it's just not gonna be. That's just me. I just don't think. I think y'all gonna be looking at him funny style, and I know this sounds crazy because I've been in situations with y'all where y'all introduced me to your man, but it's different.
But think about it.
I don't know. I just feel different.
But think about it. If you think about the scenario, you can go to a couple of examples with our specific group, right? Mm-hmm. So you talked about the scenario between me and my ex or whatever. I don't feel like any of y'all chose. Mm-hmm. I felt like it was chosen for you.
Okay.
I agree with that.
I feel like it was chosen for you.
Mm-hmm.
But and also
chosen for you in what sense?
Because the same way she said she would pull away and she wouldn't show up and come around, that's what was done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it was chosen for y'all, right?
Mm-hmm. But even then, I don't want to go there, but it would just think about it for a second. Had that not been the case, and he would have brought somebody else, or that we
I was getting there. So I was getting so it can't happen right away. So with the exception of you, we've seen one other friend of ours move on and present or bring another person in front. And from what I understand, y'all gave him fucking shit. Y'all was tough. But rightfully, it's the friends.
It wasn't as bad as them, but yes. I love you.
So go to you. You also moved on, and you brought maybe more than one person around or whatever.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Everybody looking at the ninja side eye, right? My smart slick ass. I waited a long time. Okay, I was already 3 years in. What y'all gonna say? Y'all can't say shit, but.
I was just happy that it finally happened.
I was 3 years. I tell you, we talk about when I first talked about it, and I was like, "This ninja don't say nothing in 6 months." I'm out. You was like 6 months, but in any case, I still took my time.
I understand.
Because here's the thing, I feel like the way we are as friends as family, I needed to be sure too. Like I needed to be sure because I value you guys that much that like now if y'all ain't like him, I was gonna give two shits. I was gonna still rock with my dude, but I still wanted to be sure because I wanted this to be the guy that you guys met and said, yeah, she's sure about this dude because that's gonna make you feel okay. If I bring some random person around that I just me and this dude broke up just 6 months ago, and here I go meeting this Joe Small, and I'm like, here my new nigga, my boo. Y'all gonna be looking at me like y'all crazy. Like,
no, so it's not crazy because you gotta have love.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why I said I took my time because I wanted to make sure. And so if you saw that I was sure, you guys would have no question. If I'm bringing some random guy I just met 5 months ago, y'all gonna be looking at me like, who this ninja? She just met this dude and she's talking about she in love. But like, y'all gonna be questioning that.
I get where you're going with it.
I was careful. At least I tried to be careful about who I brought around.
Yeah, I'm not saying you wasn't careful.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying is I was careful with that. So if you guys didn't like any of them, which obviously they didn't.
We ain't going. We only got a minute, 90 seconds on this shit.
It's still. I was still cautious about who I brought around because, and if I did do it, it was because we were going out. I was feeling at a point where I didn't want to be the third or the fifth wheel anymore.
Man,
because I'm always the single one.
Where y'all going?
And these are couples, but we're all friends. So
no, I get it.
No, a lot of the times, because for a long time, everything I did was just me and the kids. I get that.
So listen, as we close this out, I understand, and I understand that sometimes my ways of thinking are just can be good, and sometimes they're just horrendous. And I think in this instance,
I won't say horrendous. It's just you had a strong opinion on it.
And it may shift because clearly it's working. It worked.
Yes.
I'm talking about from my personal feeling. I just it'd be different. And you're right. It does take time, and I acknowledge that. But I don't know.
It just all depends on the history that's there. That's how I was looking at it. It just depends on how much history, because you just can't cut people off, especially if your lives are so intertwined with each
No,
other.
that's different. Yeah, you can't. You can't.
Now, if it was just some random person we have only known
I'ma
them
tell
for
you
a
right
couple
now.
of years and their friendship.
I'ma still be friends with my brother Richard, okay?
Of course you will. I'm not
That's
saying
my
that.
brother.
Yes.
He's an uncle to my kids,
Yes.
man.
Yes.
But that's the prime reason as we close this out why I will not introduce. I mean, I don't want to speak this into existence. Nothing happens.
Nothing ain't going down like that.
If it ever
bro.
did,
It ain't.
like,
It ain't no ever.
But I would never introduce another dude because it's like I know the connection you have with him.
But
So
why
it's just
would
like, why would I even? I don't have to introduce anybody. I don't have to.
Okay.
Now, if he tried to introduce something, first of all, he's going.
Ain't nobody gonna see. He gonna be one dude. Richard is one dude can say, "You ain't never gonna find no nigga like me."
Yes, he'd be the first one to say it.
And get away with it.
Don't.
But she can also say, "You ain't never gonna find no bitch like me."
That's right. I tell him that shit on a regular. I'm like, you see what I do? Can't find nobody to do that. And I'm not even talking about sexual. I'm talking about the whole. I'm a
The
whole
whole package.
goddammit. But my point is, I understand I have my ways of thinking are a little, and it's immature, and I will acknowledge that.
yeah.
And it may differ, but that's
That's how you feel.
It's almost as
That's how
if
you feel.
it's okay. I understand y'all situation, but I don't want and I acknowledge why you did what you did, why you did what you did. But for me, it's like I don't want that friction.
I could tell you if I could say if I never really felt like this was going anywhere, you would have never met nobody either.
I get it.
So you making that decision, is it more so that you're worrying about our feelings or his feelings since you have
Has
so
nothing
much?
to do with his feelings. It's more so I don't worry about myself.
You wouldn't feel like you're disrespecting him by bringing somebody else around?
If we were done,
No.
I'm
Okay.
not. Absolutely not. If we're done, we're done. But I would feel like me personally, I just don't want to deal with the ickiness. That's just me.
It's for you and the other person, right? Because at the end of the day,
I don't want him to feel uncomfortable too.
We had history.
Whoever
You had
that is.
history
Okay.
with the ex and all that kind of stuff. So to bring another person around where you guys are like trying to figure out the dynamics are we gonna be able to get like we had dynamics. We had a different dynamic, right? Now it's some new person coming into this space that we're all comfortable with. This person is like, how does this work? Or trying to I fit in or whatever. And that's, to me, that goes to the point of when you're considering who you want to bring the person around. Like, you would have to be in a space where you feel like, if that was ever happen,
if marriage
you
was
would
on
have
the
to
cards,
feel in the space that, not even the marriage being on the card, you have to feel you're in a space where you can say, okay, I know what we got here, despite what I had over there. I know what I got over here going now. And I'm feeling comfortable enough now where I can bring this person into my other world. Because at the end of the day, they're going to feel like, why are you not bringing me around your people, right? What's that about? You're going to have to at some point.
Yes.
If it's very serious at some point. You can't be like,
I'll move to another country.
No.
And on that note, I love you guys.
She's crazy!
If you didn't know, make sure you like and subscribe.
Yes.
Love you.
Look how she
Love
up
you.
into the goddamn episode. Cause she goes to another country. Fuck all y'all.
Cheers, people.
Me and my dude is out. Peace. Bye. Deuces.
Oh my God.
Y'all ain't meeting him and y'all ain't seeing me no more either.
Make sure you like and subscribe.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. I done drank my shit. Cheers.